Wow. Wow, this is wrapped really good. Wow, this is really goodly wrapped. Really goodly. A chicken.
Now we better hide
it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Camp Counselors. I'm here today with my sister Megan, and we're gonna go ahead and make some watermelon Rice Krispie treats.
The fruit of the spear is not a watermelon. The fruit of the spear is not a watermelon. You wanna be a watermelon. You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the spear because the fruit is a little joy. Each space is kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. The joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control.
So for this, the ingredients you're gonna need are Rice Krispies, marshmallows, butter, chocolate chips, food coloring, and non-stick spray. So for this recipe, you are going to end up using the stove, so make sure you guys have your parents there to help you and just give you any direction that you need. So let's go ahead and get to that. Just kidding, guys. You guys have to be in the kitchen to make this. So we're just going to get started with the first step, and that's to put your pan on the stove, and you're going to turn it on to medium-high heat. And then you will add 3 tablespoons of butter, which I have measured out. Remember, ask your parents for help. And then you're going to add 1 whole bag of marshmallows. I'm going to go ahead and add them. Alright, there we go. And then you're going to mix until all of this is melted together. Again, be careful, and this probably will take a little bit of time. As you can see, some of these are starting to melt and stick together. That's a good sign. But just keep stirring. You're going to want to keep stirring it so none of it burns or sticks to the bottom of the pan, because that is hard to clean up. Alright, so it's starting to look really good. As you can see, there are still some bigger chunks of marshmallow, but it's starting to look good. Remember, just keep stirring. Alright, so now that we're nice and smooth and all melted, we're going to go into our next step. For our next step of our watermelon Rice Krispies, you're going to need 3 bowls. I have 3 different sizes for the 3 different colors that we're going to be making. We're going to be making red, which will go in the biggest bowl because that's going to be the biggest portion of our Rice Krispie treat. We're going to have dark green, which is the second largest, which is going to be the outside rind, and then the smallest bowl will be light green, and that will be for the inner part of the rind before the watermelon. So we're going to go ahead and take that marshmallow that we had made earlier, and you're going to go ahead and divide it up. You're going to want the most in this red bowl. It's not an exact amount, just kind of eyeball it and split it up. You're going to want to put the smallest in the littlest bowl and the largest amount in the biggest. That's pretty much the only direction that I have for this. It's not a perfect science. If you don't have enough of the right color, it's not the end of the world. It will be okay. So you're going to want to work kind of quickly with this because your marshmallow will start to harden up. So the next step is going to be to add the food coloring. So you're going to go ahead and get some light green, just a little tiny bit, if I can get any out of here, into that marshmallow that you have down here, and just start working that in. until it's the color that you want. So I want this to be a pretty light green, nothing too dark because it's going to be that whitish green part before the watermelon. So you're going to want to stir that in and then move on to your next color. If you guys do have like the liquid food coloring, that's fine. We just have the gel food coloring, so that's what we're using today. Either will work just fine. Next, you're going to go ahead and add your dark green into your other bowl and just stir that together until it's the color that you want. And this is going to be the outside rind. So as you can see, there's a pretty good color difference between these two. And if you guys just want regular Rice Krispies, you don't want to go through the hassle of making them into watermelon, you can just go ahead and pour your 6 cups of Rice Krispie into the marshmallow that you melted, and it will do the same flavor, just won't look the same way. And then lastly, we have our red food coloring. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in our biggest bowl here. And then we're going to stir that until it's combined. Again, kind of just working quickly so that way the marshmallow doesn't all seize up again. If it does, you can just place this in the microwave for just a short bit and it will return back to its liquidy state. So I'm going to keep making sure that these are all mixed together and then we will jump into our next step. Okay, once you have all the colors mixed in and the desired color that you want, it's going to be time to add your Rice Krispies. So you're going to need 6 cups of Rice Krispies overall. We're going to put 3 cups into the red portion of the watermelon because that's the largest amount. I have a 2-cup measure here, so I'm going to fill this up. So that's 2 cups. And then I'm going to add 1 more for 3. And then I'm going to actually hand this bowl over to Megan so she can go ahead and get stirring on this one as we add the other Rice Krispies in. So next we're going to need 2 cups right here for this green, for the dark green. So we're going to go ahead and pour that in. And then 1 cup for the light green Rice Krispie. So once you have all that in the bowl, you're just going to go ahead and mix these up until it's all combined and turned into a pretty dense consistency. So just go ahead and mix those until all the Rice Krispies are worked in. So I'm going to go ahead and do this with the dark green and the light green, and then we'll see what Megan has when she's finished, and then we'll get right back to you with our next step. Okay, so as you can see, all of our colors are mixed in nicely to make our watermelon. So what you're going to want to do first is take your non-stick spray and spray your pan. We're using a springform pan, but you can also use a cake pan or anything else like that will work just nicely. Just go ahead and coat that. Then what you're actually going to want to do next is spray your hands just ever so slightly and then rub that together. And then you're going to want to put the dark green layer in first. So go ahead and take that and scrape it into your bowl. Sometimes you might have to use your hand for this part, but that's okay because your hand should be pretty greased so it won't stick to you as much as it will the spatula. And if it does stick to you, just go ahead and wash your hands in between layers. So you're going to go ahead and work this out to the edges because this is going to be your rind of your watermelon. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit more cooking spray on my hands because as you can see, they are sticking a little bit, which is no problem. You just need to put a little more cooking spray on. So go ahead and do that and then get right back into working it because it will harden up pretty quickly. And again, it's getting a little sticky, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more. Okay, it's just kind of work as you go. And this first step is going to be the most difficult because it's getting everything into place where you want it, and then the rest will fall in pretty easily. So go ahead and kind of build that along the edges until you have what looks like a nice rind. It doesn't have to be perfect because we do have that light green color coming in next. So then you're going to go ahead and dump that one in to your pan. Again, if it does stick to you, that's okay. This is going to be a sticky process because it is a marshmallow. And And again, do be careful because sometimes the marshmallow can still be pretty toasty from when it came off the stove. So you're gonna go ahead and work in that next color around the edges. Try to make sure it's even, but again, this is just making fun out of a nice treat. So go ahead and just pat that around the sides. Doesn't have to look good right now because this isn't what people will be seeing the most. So just go ahead and press that around and then just kind of flatten the edges of it so they're kind of even. So then lastly, we're gonna wanna fill this center part with our watermelon. So I'm gonna spray my hands one more time before I get into that. Okay, and then we will add our last color in. So go ahead and take those. Ours turned out to be pretty pinky, but that's okay because watermelon's a reddish pink color. So just go ahead and get that all out of your bowl and then work that down. This one will be the easiest because you really do just have to push it out to the sides of the pan. So now you just want to push it all flat so it makes sure all the layers are stuck together. And then you're going to want to get your chocolate chips. I'm going to actually have Megan reach in here so I don't get it all sticky with this. And she's just going to sprinkle them onto this pink portion and I'll press them down in there. So I'm going to go ahead and use my hands because it's easier to control where they go. And you can use any size chocolate chip if you have the regular or even the large ones. Those work great. So I'm going to go ahead and push these in, have Megan give me a few more. And then there you go. There's the seeds for your watermelon. So after you have this, you're going to want to let them sit. You can either let them sit out on the counter and just harden up for about 15 minutes, or you can put them in the fridge for about 5, whichever you prefer. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll let you know what our next step is. Okay guys, so now that our Rice Krispie treats have had time to set up and get nice and cool, we're going to go ahead and cut into them. And since we have a springform pan, we're going to go ahead and open that up carefully. Unstick it. There we go. So now that it's unstuck from the pan, we're going to go ahead and spray our butter knife with some non-stick spray because it'll make for easy cutting. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and cut a slice of our watermelon. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and get right under it. Now it is going to be sticky because that's just what Rice Krispie treats do. Put it on our plate and there's your watermelon. So guys, we finished up our watermelon here. We're going to go ahead and give it a taste test to see if it's any good. So this is a nice fun summer treat because it obviously looks like a nice watermelon, but it's actually a dessert. It's really good. I love it. Do you like it, Megan?
I love it.
This is amazing. So yeah, if you guys tried this recipe, go ahead and post a picture on Facebook for us. Send it to us in our email. We'd love to see what you guys made here. And we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. So bye!
Not a coconut. Fruit of the spirit, not a coconut. You wanna be a coconut? You might as well hear it. You can't be the fruit of the spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the spirit's not a banana. The fruit of the spirit's not a banana. You wanna be a banana? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the spirit, cause the fruit is love. Not a watermelon. You wanna be a water